They try to come up with different names, and unfortunately the generation I was raised in was kind of right there where they nicknamed it the me generation, and it's where we sort of got away from from parents, I'm painting with a broad brush, but parents started kind of depending on others, to raise their children. And unfortunately, just saying, hey, we're too busy, we're seeking other things, hence the name the me generation. And unfortunately, that caused a real pulling away and really just a relegation of parental roles and duties and rights and responsibilities to others, to organizations, to the government, to schools. All of those things, good things, but taking the primary responsibility away. And now it seems like we're seeing sort of a coming back to that, but always in Tulare County, since I've been sitting on the board, anytime something came up that had to do with parents, there's a deep appreciation for parents and what they do in our community and in our county. So I'm thankful to Blessings of Liberty for bringing forward this proclamation, appreciating parents, talking about parental rights and responsibilities and duties. They brought it forward over in Porterville first, and thank you again, Councilmember Meister, for bringing that and pushing that through in Porterville, getting that done. And then they had a request out there to bring that to Tulare County, and it really is a slam dunk because again, we do appreciate parents. So we took it to the next level to proclaim a week of parental appreciation here. And we're going to have Ed McCurvey and any others from the Blessings of Liberty coming up to the days here to make a few statements. And then after that, I will read a proclamation, and then we'll have a photo opportunity to speak. Come on.
It's amazing how great we have it in America, and that we have a me generation, and we're watching the culture wars rage. It's just wonderful to look back at all of the great times that we had back to the 70s and the 80s. So we reached another point. So Blessings of Liberty was created by a group of parents, men and women, professionals, in reaction to COVID in a number of areas, because we saw some open overreach. We saw some opportunities with families that were maybe in positions where they ought not to be with curriculum in our schools. And we saw a terrific opportunity to lead on something that's so fundamental about the family. We understand the family is at the center of all of the freedom that we have. And of course, the family is God's government. It is about the civil government of the United States. And it's something that might be out of place because of that me generation. And I think that restoring those basic principles and coming before you today and thanking you for helping us to take the stand for the basics, right? A country that takes care of its children has a future. A country that looks at the things that are most important in the family, understands the legacy of those that have gone before us. We've all had parents. And some of us are parents, and we look forward to being parents of children and grandchildren that grow up in this great society that we have in America. And one thing I do want to say is a privilege to be before you today in this Board of Supervisors meeting, because we often thought as we were forming our group, which is centered around faith and family and freedom, is that we were so thankful to this board during COVID for taking a very good stance on the way that process worked for COVID, because it gave everybody the freedom to do the things they needed to do locally and prevented us from having too much impact on the small businesses and on the churches and on the school kids, because as you know, we've gone through this a lot for the last few years, and we're all probably still in a little bit of a state of shock from all of it. Well, we have transferred from these values of faith and family and freedom to these other values, and they are that we've kind of lost some trust in our institutions, right? So one of our goals is to restore that trust through truth and transparency in government. And our mission, clearly stated, is that we secure the blessings of liberty with good leadership. And we would like to thank you guys for being those good leaders through COVID. We would like, to echo that sentiment that good leadership secures those blessings of liberty as said in our founding documents. And that is what we are all about. is trying to empower parents, families, churches, businesses that may have struggled and barely made it through COVID. Some didn't make it, and we're trying to put the pieces back together and restore the spirit in Porterville. And we've been very successful over the last couple of years at building this organization and just setting the record straight on the basic foundations of faith and family and freedom. And parental rights is at the center of that, because it's not just rights, as the me generation might say. It's responsibilities. And so we're trying to empower parents, we're trying to empower families, we're trying to empower local. That's our intention. And we want to really just try to restore that spirit and recover from the things that we've gone through over the last few years. And it's just a great privilege to be able to come before you and talk about that. We're always looking to grow the organization, but we're focused on local. G.K. Chesterton had a great quote talking about politicians. And he said, quite clearly, it's about 100 years ago, if you've ever read G.K. Chesterton, great author. He said, you need to keep your politicians close enough to you that you can kick them. And it's important because at the local level, we can really make a difference. And we've seen so many struggles in Sacramento and in Washington with things, and that's a violation of that trust too. So we focus on local. We appreciate you guys taking an opportunity to join us in this, taking a basic stance on faith and family and freedom through parental rights and parental appreciation, and that center that is the future of this county, our city,